All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update, and I'm also going to throw in there, I want to update the situation on Voyager, a little bit of progress today, so we'll go through that as well. So we cover Bitcoin and the miners all the time on this channel. If that's content you're interested in, or if you're new to this channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody would do me a big favor and smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot. I really appreciate it. Lastly, in the pinned comment below, you'll see a link to our free Discord. So everybody's welcome over there. Again, it's free. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin, the miners, and Voyager Digital. So I'm going to start out with a very quick update on Voyager Digital, just because I've done a few videos on this over the last few days. It does have an impact on the entire crypto ecosystem, and so therefore it's affecting Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Okay, so I'm just going to spend 30 seconds on this. I just want to bring everybody up to speed. Not much happened today. However, the trading day is over. You'll see Voyager Digital closed at 56 cents. That's US dollars. So it was down basically 1 penny on the day. So the good news with this is things have cooled way down. Yesterday, this thing was on fire. It was down at over 60% at one point. I think it finished down 53% on the day. So to have a 1.9% move or a 1 penny move today is definitely a step in the right direction. So it seems like the market has digested this and we're moving forward. More to come on this for sure. The one news that did come out today, there's an article here from Bloomberg. Distressed crypto broker Voyager sets limits on withdrawals. So they set a $10,000 limit in any 24-hour period and 20 transactions in any 24-hour period. So they have not shut down withdrawals like Celsius did and some other situations that we've run across recently, but they are restricting them. Okay, with that said, let's take a look at the Bitcoin miner big board. All right, we have mostly green here today, and Bitcoin was up today. So when we get to the charts, we'll take a look at that. So Bitcoin was up 3 or 4% today. So you'll see a lot of nice moves to the upside. But what you'll see today, usually we have 1 or 2 outliers. Today we have several outliers. And I think the market spoke a little bit today to those companies that they have confidence in and those companies that they don't have confidence in, or at least have less confidence in. So I'm going to start with the companies that were down or flat. Core Scientific was down 3.7%. And this was a very, very green day. We'll talk about the ones that were up in a minute. So Core Scientific was down 3.76%. I think all that debt they have is definitely weighing them down, and the investors are losing confidence in them. They did hit their 52-week low today. Iris Energy, stock ticker IREN, they were down 5.2%. So this is a series of down days for them since they put out a press release that they're drastically reducing their forecasted exahash rate by, early to mid 2023. I did a video on this. I think that the market is overreacting to this. I actually don't think it was that bad. I think, they got real and gave us some real information and some reasonable expectations, but the market doesn't like it, so it continues to hit a new 52-week low. Then the last one that was red on the day, and it was Wolf, and they were down 8%. So Wolf has also been cascading downward. Wolf is giving no information out, so everybody's a little bit in the dark. We don't know how many exahash they have. We don't know if they have any machines at all. If they do have machines, we don't know if any of them are hooked up and running. They've never given us any information on Bitcoin's mined to date, so we really have we're very much in the dark on Wolf, and I think that's why they continue to drop. So even if all those numbers are zero, I think they need to put a press release out that says so and explains when they're expecting to get online. They did say they started mining several months ago, I think in late February, but it's now June and we still don't have a single number from them. So they got to be more transparent than that. In the meantime, their stock is suffering, I believe, as a result of that. Let's look on the flip side. There was some miners that had great days today. Hive was up 7.67%. Riot was up 7.39%. Bit Digital was up 7.6%. Stronghold was up over 8%. So those were big moves. We also had Bitfarms up 5%. Cleanspark up 4.6%. Most of the larger, more established miners had a very good day, anywhere from, a 4 to 8% move to the upside. So very healthy day for the Bitcoin miners in general. However, there are a few companies that have specific problems, and we can see those shine through with 3 companies being deep in the red on a very green day. All right, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart and see why this happened. As always, I have an orange line indicating where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed yesterday. So that line is at $20,105. Since we closed here on yesterday, we did gap down a little bit lower. We actually went below our $20,000 line, but ran right back above it. Again, these are 15-minute candles, so that did not last long. So that line was tested again and it held up. About the last 3 hours of the trading day, all these green candles, these are 15-minute candles again, so a big strong close on the day. This green line is where Bitcoin was when we closed the markets on Tuesday. So really, all in all, not a lot of movement, a lot of sideways activity. This is just what we talked about. So you can see we did get above this for a few minutes and then we've pulled back below for the moment. So we'll see where we go from here. Let's zoom out. Okay, on the 4-hour candles, it's a little easier to see this momentum. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4-hour candles right on the line, and then we really have started to move up from there. So right now we're about 4% above our line of support at $20,000. So that is not very far away. It's a little breathing room, but we're still very close to that line of support. We definitely have not broken free of that yet. We're caught in a tight range. We did test this line again yesterday. It held. You can see today's candle has been green all day long. So what I've been talking about is I think we're stuck in a range for the next few weeks at least with 20,000 as support, and this line right here, which is the 200-week moving average, that's coming in at around 22,500. For the moment, I think that is resistance. That is the first line we have to go test and see if we can pass. I'll reiterate what I've been saying the last few days. This is only the third time in the history of Bitcoin that it has gone below the 200-week moving average. The other 2 times that it did, it pulled back a full 30%, but it was very quickly both times. It was within 1 to 2 weeks. So we're almost a week away from having crossed this line, and we seem to be holding where we are. To me, the 2 main things that we want to take a look out for is, do we hold the line at 20,000 as a line of support? Is the 200-day moving average going to be resistance at 22,500? Or, like the last 2 times, the only 2 times this has happened in the history of Bitcoin, are we going to go back above that and reestablish that as a line of support? So hopefully that's what's going to happen, but obviously anything's possible. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the monthly time frame. So you'll see I do have a line down here at about 15,700. And that represents a 30% pullback off of the 200-week moving average. And that is what happened the only 2 other times we've ever gone below this average. So to me, that is the next line of support. I don't know that we're going to hit it. Our $20,000 line seems to be holding for now. However, I want to leave this line here because we could very easily, again, we're only 4% above the $20,000 mark, so we could very easily go below and test this line of support. I also have the disaster line of support at $10,350. That would be a full 85% pullback from our November high of $69,000. So that's your full-blown crypto winter, if you will, an 85% pullback. I'm not seeing that. I'm not predicting that. I'm putting the line on here. A lot of people do have their eye on that line. Right now in the short term, it seems to me that the $20,000 line is holding. So again, I'm going to be looking to see how we do between the $20,000 line and the 200-day moving average at around 22,500. Okay, this same trend is following along. We looked at this yesterday and it seems to be progressing in the same direction. This period of time, so if you see this yellow arrow, this is the RSI. We went from oversold on May 9th to testing the midpoint a couple of times here, both on May 30th and 31st, and then again on June 6th. So we tested 50. I think we got to 51 all of those times. We got rejected off of that point. So really this run up that would be never really happened, even though we had a very nice run up on the RSI. Most of the good Bitcoin action happens up here over 50. So we got rejected twice. We went all the way back down to way oversold. And now you can see we're starting to maybe form the same pattern here. So let's see if this rally can have some legs or if we fall back to the downside. I just want to show you the MACD as well, because once again, for several days in a row, we've been looking at this get closer and closer and closer to a bullish crossover. You'll see the histogram keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So, based on this, at this pace, we're maybe 1 or 2 days away from a bullish crossover. If that happens, then, I think we definitely are following along this path that we did in the month of May through early June. If not, obviously, none of these patterns are confirmed yet, so we could break in any direction. And in general, in 2022, when we break in one direction, it seems to be downward. So I don't discount the downward pressure on Bitcoin. We still could test lower spots from here for sure. Right now, I do believe we're going to trade between 20,000 and 22,500. So I've given you my targets to the low side and to the high side. Bitfarms on June 13th had a big gap down. So that was after the holiday weekend here in the US. And that was after Bitcoin had its nosedive from the $29,000 line where it had held for a long time. That was an 18-month line of support. So we crashed through that line of support, ultimately got down to about $20,000. Actually, we flash crashed down to 17,500 at one point. So you can see since then we've been trading very sideways with Bitfarms. And a lot of the miners look very similar to this. So Bitfarms set its 52-week low last week. It has not broken that low. It had a nice update today, up 5.34%. So we're off of the lows, but stuck in a range. So obviously I think it's going to take a move with Bitcoin for these miners to get out of this range. This is clearly a new range we're in. We've never been in this range before. This is now 8 days that we've basically been trading sideways somewhere around $1.40. We closed today at $1.38. The previous 52-week low was when we had a flash crash back on May 12th. Bitfarms got down to $1.68. That line held for a while. Once the $29,000 line of support broke for Bitcoin, the $1.68 line broke for Bitfarms, and we're in our new trading range. So essentially, if we could just get back up to that $29,000 or $30,000 point, it looks like there's a 50% potential move to the upside here for Bitfarms if Bitcoin gets a little bit healthy and recovers back to that previous line of support that had held for a significant period of time, and that was really at 28,800. The only other one I want to look at today is CleanSpark. CleanSpark is behaving a little bit different than the rest of the Bitcoin miners. It's actually behaving a little bit better. CleanSpark hit a bottom on June 16th and it got down to $4.06. This purple line here is the low set back on May 12th, the same line we looked at on the last chart with Bitfarms. However, you'll see on this chart, CleanSpark has now broken above this line. Whereas most of the other Bitcoin miners have significantly gapped below this line and are stuck in a range down here, CleanSpark jumped above this line and they also had a nice day, up 4.6% today. So they have actually been performing a little bit better than most of the rest of the miners. They broke through this line of resistance here that most of the rest of the miners haven't gotten anywhere near to touch yet. So we'll see how that goes. CleanSpark doesn't always behave identically to all the rest of the miners, so they're doing a little bit better right now. For CleanSpark, it would just be a 32% increase if they were just to get back to where they were on May 31st, which was just over 3 weeks ago. So there's a little less upside in the short term potentially because they've had a nicer run over the course of the last few days. Obviously, depending on what Bitcoin does, if Bitcoin has a big run up, then all these miners are likely to have big reactions to that. And I think today gave you some indication as to some potential laggers. We'll see. Let's keep our eye on how Core Scientific, Iris Energy, and TeraWulf do tomorrow, because those were the 3 outliers today that had very red days on what was otherwise a very green day and an up day in Bitcoin. So that's all I've got for you on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners today. Thanks so much for watching. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please remember to subscribe to the channel. And everybody, please smash the like button. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.